Hi, and welcome back to Cooking with Jimmy. We are going to make Caesar salad. Now, Caesar salad from scratch is a really amazing complement to all kinds of great food. Back in the day, even now, there's very few places where you could get tableside Caesar salad. Whalers Wharf, for example, if you're from the area, the GTA, and you're relatively old, like me, then there was the Whalers Wharf, which was our restaurants, and we did tableside Caesar salad. Now, I was a busboy there when I was a youngin', teenager, and all the waiters, you would have the Caesar salad, the lettuce broken up, and they wrapped it up in a towel, and it would stay in the fridge, and they were all in 2s and 4s. So you got a table of 2, a Caesar salad for 2, you'd have it already at these preset sizes. Well, I would always throw in an extra handful for me, and every waiter said that mine is better, you know, they all compete. So I grew up on, from scratch, tableside Caesar salad, because they would leave the rest in the bowl. I would take it back to the kitchen when I took the stuff away, and that would be my meal day after day. And I found who made it the best, and I watched them closely, and now I recreate that as a grown being cooking awesome food. So you're gonna start with romaine lettuce. You can get the hearts. I like a little bit of the green, the darker, rather than just the hearts. The hearts are a little bit too white. Well, actually, it's funny, when I was younger, I liked the whiteness and the crispness of the hearts better, but I like there's more nutrition in this, but I like the mixture of both. So a little bit come see, come saw both. You want to have a Tabasco. The real genuine Tabasco sauce is very, very important. Not any other hot sauce, has to be Tabasco. Same with Liam Farron's Worcestershire sauce. Fresh lemon. Hormel bacon bits. They're readily available through Canada and the United States. They're everywhere. And French's yellow mustard. No fancy mustard, none of this. And one other thing you're going to need is a canola oil, like a Crisco vegetable oil. Just a good vegetable oil. No olive oil. It'll just mess things up. You need 1 egg yolk. Not the whole egg, but take your egg out ahead of time. It has to be room temperature, or it may not simulate together with the oil, and you'll see what I mean when I'm doing it. So 1 egg yolk for every 2 people. So we're making a Caesar salad for 2. And the last thing, but not least, is the garlic. Now, I love garlic. Now, we're gonna do a show. I make pre-made garlic, fresh crushed cloves, flash frozen. For some reason, you cook with it and everything, that is equal to a clove. But if you use it raw in a Caesar salad, it will blow your head off. And I love garlic. So for 2 people, we're going to use half of one of those, if not a third, because it will be really powerful. So I'm going to get set up. You put it in, I'm going to put it in the bowl. And then the thing that you want to do with this is you want to crush it into the side of the bowl. This crushes the oils out and gets it out, and as the leaves and the dressing and everything goes around the side, it's going to pick up all that flavor, but it gets it out of the pulp. And one other thing I didn't mention that you're going to need on top of this list is anchovy paste. You can also use fresh anchovies. In Whalers, we used to use anchovies, and then they would crush the anchovy in the bowl, but I prefer the paste, although I like eating anchovies out of a jar. Okay, so we have our lettuce. It's nice and washed. No rusty parts in there. You never ever want to cut lettuce with a knife because it goes rusty. You want to tear the lettuce. So we're going to take the lettuce, we're going to tear it up, relatively fair-sized pieces. Not really have any crazy kind of skill set to do this, but we'll just rip it up in chunks. If you cut lettuce with a steel blade, it rusts, it goes red. If you eat rusty lettuce from the grocery store, it can make you very sick. It's very hard on the stomach can't handle it, and it does funky things to your stomach. So my suggestion is don't do it. Okay, so we'll just finish tearing up this lettuce. Here, lettuce is all torn up and it's in a salad spinner. I'm gonna give this a little spin, get as much water as I can out of it, moisture. Now, one thing that is very, very important about Caesar salad, even though this has now been spun, and you can spin it till the cows come home, it still has moisture in it. So you either want to put it in a towel, like a dish towel or a tea towel, or my mom gave me this fancy little bag, which is awesome. And this little bag, you can pre-do this before your guests come, and then you just throw it in the fridge and it stays in the fridge and it takes all the moisture out of it. It's very, very key, because if you don't, what happens is it just dilutes your salad dressing, and water tastes like water. So we've got our crushed garlic in the bowl, we've crushed the oils out, we got everything off of the spoon because we weren't using very much in the first place, only because of its intensity. It's inside the bowl. First thing we're going to do is I separated the egg. So we threw away the white, we only have the yolk. Try to get as much as the white out of there. You don't want it. We put that in the bowl. We are going to add, make sure your mustard's cooking up because it gets watery on top. We are going to put a little bit of mustard. Now keep in mind, once you make it, you can tune it up to personal preference and taste. Anchovy paste, the line beside it, like that. That should be enough. There's no measurements. This all goes as you make it and you learn to make it. You will tune your buds to know what you like and don't like. So we're going to whip this up in the bowl. Okay, we got all that combined. We go where the garlic, where we crushed it on the bowl. We pick that up, get the flavors of that. Now, it's best to have a bowl with a round bottom, not a flat edge, because you need to keep whipping up all the stuff. You don't want anything stuck in the edges that doesn't get incorporated in your dressing. So now we have all that mixed up. The next part is we start with our oil. Now it's very important to drizzle the oil inside. You don't want to pour it in. You want to gently incorporate it into the mixture. So you're just going to drizzle it. Now if I had a oil bottle with the screw top, all I would do is loosen the screw top and squeeze the bottle and have it come out. We used to use in the restaurant, we used to use a glass bottle, and we would put one of those liquor pour spouts on it. And the liquor pour spout would, no matter you turn it right upside down, because the oil is thicker than liquor, it comes out very, very slowly. This is very, very important. And every once in a while, you're going to stop in the middle and see how you're making out. But do not put it in fast. So you can see right now how it's thickening. And you can take it and go very vigorously, and you want to whip it up. This makes it thicken. You can see how thick that is getting. That's the sign that you know right at this point you're going to have a great Caesar salad. Every once in a while in a blue moon, especially if the egg is cold, they won't come together. They'll just push apart, the oil and the egg yolk, and you just got to dump it and you got to start over again. It happens once in a while. So we're going to do a little bit more oil because we basically want to make a ratio that's going to end up with enough dressing for the amount of lettuce that you have. We have a fair amount, like one relatively small head, and I like it nice and saucy. So we're going to make it nice and saucy. Now when we go in and we add our lemon, it cuts it and it makes it very thin. So you'll see after you make this for years and years, the thicker this gets, the more exciting it gets from a culinary point of view, because it's only going to thin out when we put our lemon. So you can see how thick that is. It actually will hold onto the beater. This is going to be an amazing one. So now this is only a salad for two, so we don't want to go too crazy on the amount of sauce. But this ought to do it. I think that should be, I'm just going to add a bit more. This is very thick. This is going to be very good. The cling to the lettuce is going to be great. Now, careful on the lemon. Remember, whatever you start off, when you're now adding in heavy duty spices, you're going to want to pull the seeds out of the lemon. You're going to want to go easy, because you could always add more, but you can't take it out of there. So we're going to squeeze a little bit of lemon in there, but not too much, because everything is about balance. If you have too much lemon, then obviously it's going to taste too lemony. But you see, the lemon didn't do much to the thickness. It did a bit, but that's really, really good, because you want it thick. Stick to the lettuce and coat it. So we're going to put a few splashes of Tabasco in there. This, once again, is a personal preference. Worcestershire sauce. We're gonna find the right side. We're gonna throw a bit of that in, like so. And after that, you want cracked black pepper, freshly ground, is the best. And you want a fair amount. So as you can see in the bowl here, you want a fair amount of cracked black pepper. Very important. Now, when you get to this point, you can taste. You're going to want it spicy, because once you coat the lettuce with it, it loses all its power. And it will be bland. So you want it to have a lot of kick now, and then it will have a reasonable kick when you're done. So we're gonna throw some more Tabasco. It's like, I don't know, 10 drops, something like that. Worcestershire is fine. You may add a little bit more of the lemon, because you can taste the lemon, but not that much. So we're gonna add more of that. I can taste the pepper kernels when I hit them on my taste buds. You can see how it's thinning out now after we added all that stuff. So it's really important to have it thick in the first place. I'm going to add just a couple more shots of Tabasco, and I think we're good to go. Okay, we're going to set this aside, because tonight we're making chicken wings, and we're going to do another separate show on that, but we're going to make oven baked chicken wings, and we might even make escargot, but I don't know if we're going to get that far. Anyways, we're going to set this aside now, because we have our sauce made. And one other thing you're going to need as well for this, obviously, is Parmesan. I find grated, like a Kraft Parmesan cheese or something simple, which I will get. Regular Kraft Parmesan. If you use the fresh stuff, I've used the fresh Parmigiano Reggiano and all the fancy stuff, you don't really need it. It, for some reason, with it ground fine like this and just sitting, it adds a nicer flavor. And I don't put too much, because then it becomes too thick, but it's whatever you like. If you like it cheesier, I love cheese, but I don't like it to dry out in the dressing. So, sitting in our bowl is our Caesar salad. We finished with the whisk. That's all done. Now the next part is our lettuce. That's been sitting maybe about half an hour. Is going to be really nice and dry. So we're going to dump our lettuce in. You don't have to use all of it, but we've kind of made the recipe up and the sauce for that. We're going to take a couple spoons we're gonna toss the salad. No, not toss it like that. We're gonna toss it because this is gonna be good. First thing is to do is to coat the leaves. Get all that dressing on it before we do anything else. We don't want anything to thicken up the sauce. So now it's coating all the leaves. Get it very thoroughly mixed in because we want it nice and uniform and even. If it was any more than 2 people, we'd have a big ass bowl here. You need the room. You need the room to toss it and do whatever you gotta do. Okay, so we got this pretty well. You can see that everything's mixed together because our lettuce was nice and dry. It hasn't liquefied and thinned out our dressing. So if you see, the ratio is pretty good because we've just got a really nice coating on every leaf. Next thing is bacon. Bacon is so good, and good bacon. I like lots of bacon. So we're going back to personal preference. There's our bacon. We throw some croutons. Not a big fan of croutons, but we're gonna put some in. Just a few, just for the fun of it, and make it look like a Caesar salad. It's good. It won't hurt. And then we go with our Parmesan. We put our Parmesan cheese on top. Not too much, don't go too crazy. It will dry it out, especially where we have a nice dry, thick sauce. So we do that, give it a little turn. I'm gonna add just a wee bit more bacon. It's one way to get your vitamin D, as I say. A tad more Parmesan. Not too much. Stir it up thoroughly. And you have an amazing Caesar salad. Now you can keep things on the side like a little extra lemon juice. Somebody likes it a little bit more lemony. They can squirt that on the end. They want more pepper. They can use the pepper grinder. But we put a good helping in here. So this will have a really nice balance. And this will be a compliment to any sophisticated dinner.